You're listening to The Bon Marie Show. It's 8 in the evening. Tune in every night at 8 to listen to The Bon Marie Show on Irish News Radio or itv.ie. And you can contact anything that you've heard or if anything you'd like to discuss at news@irishnews.net. You're listening to The Bon Marie Show on Irish News Radio. Today is Monday, so we will be talking about the financial mess and the reason why we are in such a mess when we have a traitorous criminal government and a traitorous criminal opposition, so-called opposition, which really are the same party, and they all should be locked up for treason against the Irish people. Absolutely a disgrace. Shocking. So we're going through what Leo, the so-called Taoiseach with no mandate, comes out with. I am the European Union. If the people haven't realised that over the past 2 years, they're coming to realise it now. Now, what do you think that means? Have a think about it. I am the European Union. Not I'm even on the European side. I am the European Union. He is a complete puppet. And if you didn't know that, as he says himself, you need to be copping on to the fact that he is not working for the Irish people or has the Irish people's interests at heart. He has the European Union, the EU interest, and only the EU interest only. He's a complete traitor. He should be done for treason. And he should be out with the other fake party, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, all need to be out with Sinn Féin and people before profit, all completely against the Irish people, working against us. Absolute disgrace that he could actually come out and say that crap. The UK have said it all along that they don't want a hard border. And Ireland, the so-called pretend leaders, have been saying that we don't want a leader. The Irish don't want, obviously, a border. And the UK have been saying all along they don't want a border. But Juncker and Leo say it's not an Irish border, it's an EU border. Shows the true colours of Leo and the EU dictatorship. It's the EU that's the problem with Leo and the other fake coalition party, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. And if that's not obvious, it should be by now, as in Leo's own word. If you haven't put the dots together, you really need to put the dots together, because it's far too late in the day to actually have worked this out. It's obvious that it's the EU who's created this. And using Ireland to try and keep the UK in the EU by putting blackmail backstop in place in order to try and keep some sort of control of the UK. Time the Irish wake up, well past the time we wake up and fight back and get this fake coalition out, and Sinn Féin and people before profit. All of them are fake. There's not one of them for the Irish people. The evil dwarf off to England. Higgins, the most evil man one of the most. We have just a disgusting government and a disgusting so-called president. I don't even know how the Irish voted this evil dwarf in again, as he spends our money ridiculously over ridiculous hotel bills, his bills for his dog, while Irish are dying on the streets. He signed in eviction bill. He signed in the most barbaric abortion, but you voted him back in for another 7 years. Anyway, he's off to the UK. He's embarrassment, spending God knows how much money on this trip while Irish die on the streets. And not a care for the Irish. Don't have anybody. Where on the other hand, there's this amazing country, Italy. Salvini calls for the destruction of the Italian central bank. Now, this is what should happen to Ireland. If Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and the other fake parties, fake oppositions, should be all locked up for treason against the Irish people. Savina calls his bankers fraudsters, and he says they should all be in prison for a long time. And he's right. And a fantastic leader. He's beginning to get Italy its freedoms back. Amazing. He's going to try and run for election to become the sole leader, polls say, as both the leaders have been battling with the EU and with the French moron. So both of the two of them are conservative parties, and they've had enough of the EU and the French moron. It looks like Italy, I think, after Britain is out, will be the next to go, because they have had enough of all this, and their people have woken up to the crap the EU is. Sinn Féin loses another elective rep. How many more are going to leave? As they're a complete fake party. They have nothing to do with what the party originally set up to be. And they stand for nothing. They're completely kosher Marxism. A sorrow feign, as the wonderful Eileen calls them, and they really are. John Casson, I will not be seating the Sinn Féin nomination in coming elections. I will continue to be an Irish Republican. I represent people of Carlow, and I look forward to the local elections where he's going to run as an independent. Fantastic. You know, there's so many people who are running now as independent candidates. Great choice out there. There isn't really a strong party. Maybe Renew. I don't know. I think there's a lot of strong independent candidates that you need to all be looking at that are coming through. And because they know they're in fake parties, like Sinn Féin is not for Republicans, it's not for independence, it's not for sovereignty, it's not for what it should be for. It's completely for the EU, and it's for a union, which is not what it set out to be. After Harris being locked up in his house on Sunday, he apologised for the information that he set out, that he told the government over the hospital. So he apologised over that. All of them are just a mess. There's no point kind of even going into Harris. He's such a disaster with cervical cancer, the barbaric abortion, the nurses, the children's hospital. I mean, where do you stop with all of them, really? They're just a mess. Angela Merkel is in panic as a no deal becomes more likely. You're listening to the Bon Ree Show on Irish News Radio. Angela Merkel is in panic as no deal becomes more likely. As they blackmail and bully, Germany could lose more than 100,000 jobs in the event of no deal. March the 29th coming nearer, and blackmailing and bullying on the high. Which will lead to very much the British, as I said earlier, deciding that they will flee. Because the one thing the British do not like is bullying and blackmail. I mean, they're quite adamant. And I don't know how the Germans or the Irish don't know that about the British. Not the Irish, because it's a fake government. They're not for the Irish people. If they were, they would be securing a deal just between Ireland and England and not UK, and not going on to say I am the European Union, and not a one thought for the Irish people. So yeah, 100,000 jobs could be lost in Germany. So Angela Merkel is in a complete panic as 29th of March becomes nearer, as the blackmail and bullying is on a complete high, ridiculous stage. And this will prove detriment to Germany. With 46 days to go and no deal, and unlikely a deal to be made, because of the bullying and blackmail that's gone along. They've had enough now. You can guarantee if there was ever a chance of a deal, it's becoming more unlikely with the tactics that they've gone about. And with EU and Leo, the fake Irish government. has tried to bully and bully and bully as she tries to reach out to May, trying to get a deal. And it's unlikely because after the way May was treated, and even I don't like May, and I don't think a lot of people like May, actually was embarrassed and uncomfortable the way she was treated. As the Prime Minister of Britain was treated extremely bad, and it was quite embarrassing that the way they talked down to her and tried to bully her into a deal against the British people and against the British will, and trying to force another vote, as they've done to many European countries, to force them into this Nazism. But the British aren't good about bullying or blackmail. That is not something they will bow down to, and they're very proud about that. So that would be one thing about the British. They do not give in to bullying or blackmail. It was completely the wrong way to go at the British if the EU and the Irish really wanted a deal, or if they just wanted to cause shit, which it looks like they just wanted to cause shit. The Irish fake government did not want to secure deals with Ireland and Britain, and they didn't even want, there was no issue with the border, they just put it in. And even so far, it's that idiot, another idiot, Tusk, who goes on to say there'll be a special place in hell for Brexiteers. What a complete stupid thing to say. They wanted freedom of independence, so they'll have a special place in hell. Like, do you really think the British would go, oh yeah, you know what, we should stay in now? This sounds like lovely after you're blackmailing, you're bullying, and you're insulting. There's no way the British are going to stay in. And why would they? And the fake Irish government, like a schoolboy, the Irish or the British media will give you trouble. Fake government. And it's very, very, very upsetting to see that these, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, should be done like Slovenia did in Italy. They should be done for treason against the Irish people. They are fraudsters, as Slovenia says, and should be all in prison for a long time. The Irish banks, along with the Irish fake party, should all be locked up for what they've done to Ireland and the Irish people. Thank you for listening on the Bon Ree Show. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the gruesome Tuesday about Islam. Thank you very much. Talk to you tomorrow on the Bon Ree Show.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.